Hello and welcome back to TST. If you're new to the channel, tap on the subscription button and press the notification bell so you can receive news and updates that you can rely on daily.
Is this why Michael Flynn was targeted? With the recent bombshell in the Michael Flynn case completely scrambling many of the previous narratives, there are still a lot more questions than answers. What was the overall goal in targeting him in the first place remains one of the biggest. One Twitter user who's done excellent work researching and chronicling everything involving the Russia investigation has a theory, and he just might be right. It's looking like one of the reasons they went after Flynn was to protect the Carter Page FISA. As NSA, Flynn could have certified the FISA warrant. Thus, the new emails. Quote, based on his position in the NSA, we would debrief him on Crosswind Carter Page. Andy McCarthy on Tucker Carlson's show shared the same suspicions. Take a watch.
He was the obstacle. Trump comes into office with really a bunch of novices around him. Flynn was unusual in that he was a seasoned intelligence professional. There were not a lot of people like that on the White House staff. Why is that important? Well, what is the Obama administration and its holdover officials, what do they want to do? They want to continue the investigation because the quarry here is not Flynn, it's Trump. So in order to continue the investigation while Trump is president, they have to be able to conduct it under circumstances where the president has the power to cut it off. The most important documents, I think, in what we saw today are the emails from the days right before the January 24th interview. What you learn is in Strzok's emails with other officials, they talk about doing a defensive briefing for Flynn. And the idea is you would go in and you would tell him about parts of the Trump-Russia investigation, Crossfire Hurricane. Not because they wanted to, but because they understand he's the national security advisor. He knows how the intelligence system works. He knows how the FBI interacts with it. He's going to find out that we investigated the Trump campaign. So the idea was, let's give him a defensive briefing and use it as an opportunity to interview him and maybe monitor him and see if he goes into the White House and tells them everything and then destroys the investigation. They realize after talking about this for a while, it's not practical. Because if you tell him about the investigation is over. So what evolves is they go from a defensive briefing to a perjury trap. And the reason is the perjury trap is what has the chance of getting him removed. Whether it's you get a basis to fire him or you have a basis to prosecute him. But they needed him out of there because they thought that the other people, including the president, they'd be able to handle. But Flynn was not somebody that they were going to be able to continue this investigation if he was the national security.
This makes a lot of sense. While Flynn was definitely taken as a scalp for Mueller, he was originally gone after before any of that started. With Flynn coming in as NSA, he would have been privy to all their misbehavior, along with all the evidence to prove it happened. The Carter Page warrant? He would have seen the renewal applications and been made apprised to what the FBI was doing. How Trump was targeted? Flynn would have found out. James Comey and his gang couldn't let that happen. That's where the, quote, get him fired part of the recent release comes in. It's incredibly damning because it demonstrates they weren't just thinking he had committed a crime. They were specifically trying to take him down to stop him from gaining access to evidence of their misdeeds. It appears to have been a cover-up from the beginning, with Flynn taking the fall early on in the Trump administration so the FBI leadership wouldn't be exposed. When you put it all in that context, what was done to Flynn is even more disgusting and disturbing than it originally appeared. These people were possibly willing to send a man to prison to keep their power and cover their tracks. That kind of behavior doesn't desire firing. It desires handcuffs.
Share your thoughts and responses in the comments down below. If you've liked this report, let us know by tapping that like button down below, share the news among friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more news and updates on TST. I'm David Ravine, and I'll see you in the next one.